What's up? What's up? What's up? Get a move on. Pudgems Hade. Get a move on. You guys are insane. What's going on, guys? How's everyone doing? First live stream of the day. Tuesday morning is my busy morning here in Australia. I've been up since 5 a.m. coaching, and I'm going to go live again today. I'm going to upload my Devin, Haney, Brian Norman Jr. breakdown prediction. Shout out to Joseph P., new YouTube member. Guys, join our Discord. Joseph P. just became a member of our Johnny Says Boxing Discord. That link is pinned right here. It's a couple bucks a month. Our Discord is the place to be. What's up, Joe T? What's up, Ilagos? We might as well just get started here, guys. Right? We might as well just get started with what Ilagos is talking about. This is literally the conversation to be had all week. We're going to be talking about it all week. You guys are going to be asking me about it all week. Who do I like? Look, nobody gets it 100% right. Nobody gets it 100% right. And, if we did get it 100% right, we would be owning casinos, right? We are doing really well, though. I've hit every money line bet for the last 3 weeks. I think the last loss was Australia. The last loss was Jasmine Parr on the money line. So we're on fire. What's up, Joe T? Yeah, we were on point this week. We were on point last week. The Tiger Johnson card, we hit all of them. This week we hit Canada. This week we hit Mexico. This week we hit the UK. So we want to roll this over into this coming week. And I want to talk a little bit about that, Norman Jr. So I don't know, guys. I'm not one of these guys who's going to sit here and say that Devin Haney's an all-time great. I'm like, Devin Haney, to me, never been an all-time great. People are talking about like this guy is going to just go out and dog walk Brian Norman Jr. I don't see that happening. People are going to say that Brian Norman Jr. is too slow. I mean, Devin Haney's never fought at 147 before. Why do we expect Devin Haney's reaction, speed, reflexes to carry up to 47, a weight class he's never fought at before? We know about, we could talk about his resume if we want. We could talk about who he's fought. Obviously, we could talk about Ryan Garcia. We could talk about Jose Ramirez. There's nothing in Devin Haney that makes me feel comfortable that he's going to be Brian Norman Jr. In terms of career trajectory, what I see with Brian Norman leveling up, dating all the way back to the Janelson Boca Chica fight, the fight that got stopped due to cuts, the fight in which he was on his front foot and got dropped. I've seen a kid who keeps leveling up, leveling up, leveling up. There's no way I would bet one dime on Devin Haney. That's just me. And it's nothing to do with him as a person. I'm not a Devin Haney hater. I bet on him to beat Ramirez. He beat him. I bet on him to beat Ryan. We know how that fight went. So it's not that I'm an anti-Devin guy. I just, at this stage of the game, having watched how his career is going, I feel he didn't want this fight. I feel that he was pressured into taking this fight. And I think this is I think this matchup's perfect for Brian Norman. People are going to want to side with Haney. I don't think Haney's resume, when you look at it, a resume could definitely be overlooked and it could be hyped up. When you look at who he beat, when he beat them, he's never really fought a guy in his prime, his age or younger, that was a world champion. Biggest puncher he's faced. I mean, do you think Ryan Garcia beats Brian Norman Jr.? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about here? There's nothing in Devin's game that I see that Brian is going to struggle with. People are talking about his speed. I don't think so. Brian's the natural welterweight, and he's not a big welterweight. So, Devin just turned 27 years old. With how he's looked, I think Norman handles him. I do. I'm comfortable with that bet. That's just where I stand. Totally agree with the story analogy, Johnny. Which story would you bet on, Norman's or Haney's? And since we're obviously putting on money, 100%. Elegos, you were listening to my live stream yesterday. It's exactly what I'm talking about, man. And also, even guys, I got to be honest with you. Even if if I lose my money on Norman, I'm not going to be. I'm going to be more happy with a loss than I am betting on Haney beating Norman. I just don't. It doesn't feel right to me. I don't feel right betting and supporting Devin Haney's career against a big puncher like Norman, especially, with where his career, the trajectory is going, how he's operating, the psychology behind everything. Ryan Garcia, dude, like that's it. How come no one's talking about that performance? He gets dropped multiple times. Granted, Ryan was on, Ryan tested for ostarine, which is, ostarine masks. It's an anti-estrogen blocker. A lot of these bodybuilders to not develop bitch titties. Like there's bodybuilders who used to be in our group. You see their nipples. Men who take exogenous testosterone will then have their hormones so off balance, they take other masking agents to deter estrogen from being produced at a big sort of, substantial amount for them to, get female breast organs. So ostarine can be used to mask and deter estrogen production, but that's what Garcia, Garcia, in my opinion, Garcia is a dirty fighter. I'm not a Ryan Garcia fan. That being said, it supports my point. Devin Haney couldn't make an adjustment against Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia has never been a world champion. He's not world level. Very basic skill set. When is the last time Ryan Garcia stopped evolving? When he turned professional? In terms of a fighter who wants to learn, a fighter who adds skills to their game, Garcia has stopped evolving. He stopped. I don't know. Obviously his training. Brian Norman Jr. is a guy, when you watch his career, you see levels. You see him gaining levels. You see him gaining confidence. I don't see that in Haney either. And like I said, I think Norman handles Haney. I think he does it convincingly. That's my stance. What's your thoughts on Mason Noakes? Okay, so Mason is a lock. I watched this tape. I was giving Sam Noakes the benefit of the doubt. Abdullah Mason, his feints, Abdullah Mason's head movement, Abdullah Mason's power, Abdullah Mason's speed. Abdullah Mason has all of this. I think Sam Noakes' downfall will be his lack of head movement. Noakes gets hit too much. And I think it's going to be one of these performances where Noakes is probably going to be like a deer in the headlights. I think Abdullah is going to be freezing him a bit. So I'm high on Abdullah Mason. Haney overrated. He is lucky Cambosa's got that win over Lopez. I mean, what is really, we talk about Haney's resume. He's 32-0, with some controversy. His first 16 fights happened in Mexico. So realistically, in America, he's 16-0, 4 knockouts. His last knockout was in 2019 against Abdullayev in 2019 at 135. This fight's at 147. All of a sudden, what we're doing is saying that Devin Haney has gotten better. You think he's gotten better? I definitely think Norman Jr. has gotten better. Norman has not. This is a narrative that I don't think is substantial. Norman has not fought a world champion. He is a world champion now. The point is, Devin Haney. So how he fought Ramirez. Ramirez hasn't been the same guy since the Maurice Hooker fight. You know what I mean? Ramirez when he fought him at 31-32, everybody in the Ramirez camp knows Ramirez isn't Ramirez who Ramirez used to be. So if this is the narrative that you're siding on, who have they fought, and you're doing triangle maths, if that's your reasoning for Devin, take him. That's not my reasoning. I'm not saying the reason for me taking Norman is because who Devin has fought or hasn't fought. My reasoning is 100% physical, momentum, psychological, willingness to be in there. Brian Norman Jr. is a throwback. His lead hook, you think that Ryan Garcia's lead hook is good? The fuck, you guys are going to have me swear. Go watch Norman Jr.'s lead hook. Norman Jr.'s lead hook is nasty. I think I'm not going to get too sexy with this pick. I'm not going to try to get too fancy. Right now, it's almost even money. So we'll check these odds real quick. Guys, if you won money last week on my picks, if you're doing well, let me know you're winning. Support the channel however you can. Like this video, subscribe. Our Discord, we're approaching 300 Johnny Says Boxing Insiders VIPs on our Discord. That link is pinned in the comment section here. It's a couple bucks a month. It's not just boxing. It's NFL. It's NHL. It's basketball. It's baseball. It's MMA. It's soccer. The Discord is popping. Get in there. We got the new boxing schedule released today. We got the new boxing polls released today. We got the parlays released today. So check out our Discord. I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna show you guys the. We're gonna look at the odds first, but then I want to check the Discord out to see what the boys are saying. So you guys did hear Fabio Wardley got elevated? So this news broke in the Discord right before I went live. Fabio Wardley got elevated. Usyk relinquished his belt. Usyk did not get stripped. He relinquished his belt. Wardley is elevated by the WBO. I'm just seeing what the boys are saying about Haney. Haney's not leaving with a belt. So the Discord is. This is going to be one of those fights where it's going to be half of your friend group is going to side with Norman. The other half is going to side with Haney. And it's going to be a fun fight week. So as long as we keep it copacetic, as long as we keep it educated, as long as you come at me with some research, you come at me with some stats, you come at me with some angles on why each one is going to win or lose, you could come on the live stream. Anybody who wants to come on the live stream and debate me and tell me why Devin Haney wins, let's do this. I'm bringing on a guest tomorrow. He's going to be on my live stream. He's a retired pro boxer. He has a show with Paulie Malignaggi. He's coming on to talk about the fights. He's going to tell you he's a. And so stay tuned to the channel. Let's take a look at the odds real quick. So we're going to see if the odds have shifted at all. Not quite. These are pretty much the same. A couple cents here and there. Because I'm taking Norman, I'm going to wait. I'm still waiting to the end of the week, guys. I'm convinced that these odds are going to shift. I think by Friday, Devin Haney will be the favorite and Norman Jr. will be the underdog. That's exactly what I'm waiting for. If you guys are like me and you think Norman Jr. is going to win, that's where you're going to bet your money on. Wait to put your bets in because these odds will shift. If you're on Devin Haney, put your money in now. Devin Haney is plus money. Devin Haney is the dog right now. If you're going heavy on Devin, put your bets in now because the odds are definitely going to shift. People are going to see this by Friday. The casuals are going to be tapping in. The celebrities are going to be tweeting. The boxing shills are going to be tweeting. The mainstream boxing media is going to be saying their talking points, and money will definitely be coming in on Devin. So that's the way I'm looking at it. It's similar to Tiger versus Flaz. Those odds were going crazy. I waited to put my money in on Tiger, and we got him as the dog. And we made a lot of money on Tiger Johnson as the dog. Same thing with Conor Benn. Made a lot of money this week on Conor Benn. Waited to put the money on. You could just kind of tell when you're in this game long enough, you could see how the odds are going to come in based off of brand names. Even though Brian's the champion, Devin's the A side. You know, that's not controversial. You got the fathers about to go at it in this press conference. This shit's about to be dope. I can't wait for this fight. I'm not a Devin Haney hater. I'm coming at this non-emotionally. I just don't see in career trajectories what I told you yesterday on my live stream, the story of the fight, the story of their careers. I don't see Devin Haney having it in him as a 27-year-old to beat Brian Norman Jr. I think it's going to come down to more than speed, reflexes, and a jab. I think it's going to come down to more than Brian Norman Jr.'s power. There's a mental edge. Anyone who's boxed understands the psychology when they say your name, you get brought into the ring, you have your face off, you're staring eye to eye, and that bell rings for the first time. That's the big light. You know, Devin's been in there in bigger fights more than Brian Norman Jr., but Brian Norman Jr., you know, he doesn't have the controversy attached to his name. He doesn't have those doubts attached to his name. He's not a guy who thinks that the public looks at him a certain way. A lot of that stuff matters going into these big fights, and sometimes these doubts, these thoughts that these fighters have show up. I always think about, we've seen fighters, I'll leave it at that. We'll see. Ryan has no respect for any trainer. Ryan has no respect for himself. So any young man who doesn't respect his teachers, any young man who doesn't respect his coaches, any young man who doesn't respect his trainers, any young person who doesn't respect his elders, they are projecting a lack of respect for themselves. So this is another thing think about Ryan Garcia's skill set from the amateurs to now. He hasn't leveled up at all. He hasn't added anything. Why is AJ only want that? That's not a real fight. Because that's not a real fight. We're not talking about that fight on my channel. That's an exhibition fight. That's Jake Paul prostituting our sport. We ain't talking about this. We were talking about this, Johnny, in the Discord. Norman will walk him down from the start of the bell, and Norman is plus 225 knockout. That's going to be my bet, Zeke. So that's I like that. I just don't want to get greedy yet. Like, because Zeke, if we go into the weekend and Norman is at plus 220 on the money line, we've seen Norman, go late into fights, needing a knockout, getting a knockout. We've seen him carry his power late. Gio Santillan. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just gonna shut this. Oh, good. Thanks, brother. Sorry about that. We got the boys doing some work in my house. Haney hasn't gotten any better. Guys, and these are conversations we have to have. It's not like I'm trying to stand on this platform and tell you I'm right. I mean, Zeke knows, Pedro knows, the boys in the chat have been with me for a while. We're just riffing off each other. And I'm just telling you how I see it, and we're not always right. We're not always right. We're not always wrong. We're on a heater at the moment, though. We are winning a lot lately, so I'm just going to roll with it. For me, there's a little bit of an intuitive approach to betting. It should be a small fraction. You'll never hear me say, and my prediction is, because I got a funny feeling about this one. No, I had a dream last night and I have a vision. That's not how I roll. But there is an element of that when you're looking at how the careers are going. I mean, I got to be honest with you, even though I'm going with Norman, I think it would be good for boxing. Imagine if Haney goes out there and has the performance of his career, and all of a sudden we've seen him add skills to his game. I just don't see, I don't like the pad work videos. And I don't not like the pad work videos because it's not what I saw in his technique. I just don't like the pad work videos. Why put those out there? I don't like the projection. I don't like the posturing. That's psychologically, that still tells me there's stuff going on mentally with Haney in his camp. So that's how I'm looking at it, man. I hope whoever wins Keyshawn's belt, I hope they give Edwin De Los Santos a shot. I think Edwin could have beat Keyshawn. Yeah, that's the fight that, guys, if we do awards for 2025, the fight that got away, that's on a short list. Edwin versus Keyshawn. That's on a short list. I agree with you. We're butting heads on good. We're dude, boxing was this is what makes what we do so exciting. We can't agree with everything. The last thing we ever want to do is create an echo chamber. If I had a whole chat right now, we're floating between 40 and 60 people right now live on this chat. If 40 to 60 people were agreeing with me and saying, good job, I wouldn't have fun. I'm a competitive guy. I know you guys are competitive guys. We have men on this channel. We have guys who put a lot of energy and effort in. I'm not just sitting, in my lounge room breaking fights out. I'm sparring, I'm training, I'm coaching, I'm reading, I'm writing books. This is what I do, man. I need competition in my life. It's part of the, if you feel like, your life is at a static point or position, probably go to that mental edge and say, am I challenging myself? Men, as men, we need competition. We need to compete at anything and make it healthy. So this is healthy competition. Boxing Wisdom, to put a bow on that point. I'm glad we're butting heads on this. We're not doing it disrespectfully. We're not taking shots at people's family or ethnicities or race. That's not what we do here. So this is a great comment. Elagos. This world champion talk is ridiculous, but let's go. The Regis program was a champion. Santin will dog walk Regis. Ramirez is retiring. Yeah. Think about this, guys. This is I don't want to. I have to be careful what I say here, because this comment could be taken as me hating on Devin, saying that he cherry picked all these opponents. But who do we know Devin has? Who do we know Devin has sort of crafted his career to mimic? It's his era. It's his generation. We know it. Devin, Tank, Shakur. This era has crafted and tailored their own career to mimic Floyd's. So the first and foremost, you want to be undefeated, right? You want to be able to brand yourself as never being beaten, not just for the ego, but also sponsorships and the narratives and rhetoric of after you retire. all that good stuff. Another thing, though, that doesn't get spoken about enough, and this isn't me hating on Floyd. Floyd was one of my favorite fighters when I was coming up, especially Pretty Boy Floyd, young Floyd coming out of Atlanta, the Olympics '96, when he was just starching people. People, a lot of the younger boxing fans will only remember Money Mayweather, but watch Floyd's first 22 fights. Watch the kid who was knocking dudes out before his hands were breaking. That dude was special. He, one of the greatest of all time, both careers, right? One of those things, though, he comes from a fighting family. We know about, his father, his uncles. So one of the things about coming from a fighting family is that you learn the business of boxing. You learn matchmaking. You learn, what you have in your fighter, and you learn who to pair them against. So to talk about this world champion talk, Regis, Santillan, Ramirez, one of the things that the Shakurs of the world, the Tank Davises of the world, the Devin Haneys, the Bill Haneys of the world, they learn from Floyd Sr. and Roger and how they dealt with Floyd Jr. is when to pair him with certain fighters, when and where to take fights, what stage of the career your opponent is. That never used to really be a thing. It's always been a thing with guiding your fighter, with where they are in their development, but not always been a thing with trying to age guys out or trying to wait on fight. That's kind of a 90s thing. So when you look at Devin Haney's matchmaking and then him weight draining people and staying in a weight class, and there's rumors of people seeing Haney fighting at 135 during fight week, weighing like 170. So this is all public knowledge. We know about this, right? So the Haney fans are going to talk about, look who he's beat, Hall of Famers, his resume on paper in 40, 50 years when I'm dead and gone, people are going to look back on Haney's resume. If he never fights again, let's say that he never fought again, he retires 32-0 in a fake world, because we know the fight's coming up with Norman. They'll see the names on his resume and be like, damn, dude, Devin fought everyone. That's just the uncomfortable truth about, if you have to do your work to really understand, all right, he fought this guy, but when did he fight him? What weight class was this fight at? How old was the guy when he fought him? All these sort of things, a true blue boxing head will know to look a little bit deeper. And so, you got a 32-0 record with 16 knockouts, but I mean, to me, he's 16-0 with 4 knockouts. So when I'm breaking down Devin's career, I look at his pro career as being 16-0 with 4 knockouts. So this is a guy you guys bash all the time when we're doing French fighters. Think about Bruno Sarase. Think about David Papeau. Think about guys in the UK when they're coming up through the amateurs to pro ranks. Their knockout to win ratio is really low, and people just dismiss them. We American fighters know that. It's one of the things about marketing. Why, you take fights in Colombia. I have a friend who's a pro fighter who retired. He was saying he's friends with pros who they got fights on their record that never even happened. You know what I'm saying? And this is a known thing. These things happen in boxing. So I say all of that to say this. If you're going to say Haney is going to beat Norman based off of who they each fought, I think you're going to be ill-advised to take that route. I think you got to look a little bit more deeper in what do they look like now? What are their strategies going to be coming into the fight? Haney's going to want to work the jab. Haney's going to use his speed. Haney's going to want to use that one tool. They always talk about your right hand can take you around the block, but your jab will take you around the world. Devin Haney's jab is good. Is it the best jab? No. I like Richardson Hitchens' jab way better. Does he commit to his jab as much as I want to? No, because his feet are too happy. He's not too stationary with his feet. Does he have power to hurt Norman? One punch net power? No. Can he catch Norman coming in with his timing and countering? He can. Think, Catterall. A good counterboxer could do that. I just don't. There's a lot of what ifs with Devin Haney's game for him to tie in all of these things for him to beat Norman. And with Norman, there aren't a lot of things he has. He has to do exactly what he's been doing. And I think does anybody know how big the ring is going to be? I've been trying to find that data. Yeah, so hung up on resume, yeah. So just get past the resume. Look at what it is right now. Yeah, but dude, talk to the Philly fighters. Everybody talks about Janelson being able to crack. And when Janelson caught him, it was a very low IQ risk that Norman did. Janelson was in the corner. Norman Jr. comes with his head on the center line, on the front foot, and just got cracked with a beautiful shot. So let's talk about the odds real quick. Guys, so we already if you're on Haney, I would put that bet in now. If you guys are team Devin Haney, You probably want him on points. 245 on points. If you're Team Norman, I would wait. I like Norman on the money line. I'm not going to get too sexy. I might sprinkle like 100 on the knockout. I could see him stop. You know, you're telling me Haney's hook or Ryan Garcia's hook in a lower weight class is better than Norman's hook? Brian lands that hook on Haney that he landed on Sasaki. Haney's not getting up. That's real rap. That's facts. 100%. And Devin was tough. He showed a lot of gall. He showed a lot of character getting up from those punches against Ryan. But Ryan is super basic. No feet, super basic. Just throws that hook. That's not Norman. Norman lands that hook multiple times. Haney's not getting up. Pudgeon's high. Hey, Norman's been taking care of the business how it should be. The competition. Haney couldn't knock out a Gamboa. Yeah, Gamboa is. Oh, I mean, look. We don't, guys. Let's talk about. We don't have to do boxing matches here. I want to hear somebody's opinion on Haney winning based off of what you saw against Ramirez. What? Give me some strategy other than what I just told you. You know, because we know what's Haney's gifts, his speed and reflexes, but it's not. I mean, what Haney performance are you watching that you think this guy, you know, even if you didn't know who Devin Haney was, you didn't know who Brian Norman was, you didn't know anything about their resumes, they're both a 0-0 record. You see kind of highlights of them and don't have these facts of the story of their careers. I want to know why you would be taking Haney to beat Norman based off of like the optics, how they fight, the physicalness of their fighting, the strategies of how they're fighting. I'm watching the Philly channel today, YSN, and Cornflake, you know, shout out to Lamanna. Cornflake used to spar with Norman Jr. But a lot of these people who shade Norman Jr. shade the 20-year-old version. You know, shade the version he was when he fought Janelson at 21. You know, he's 24. The reason why this matters is in a boxing career, in a guy's career who is married to the game, devoted to the game, they're going to continuously level up. We just saw that in Tiger Johnson. We just saw that in Richardson Hitchens. You're seeing that in Bam Rodriguez. You're seeing, you know, fighters who are really married to the game, and that's the only way you're going to be able to do this. Continue. Fabio Wardley. I mean, he's a world champion. This guy, if he wasn't in the gym, you know, granted he has astronomical power, you could tell the guys who put the work in versus the guys who are operating on their natural gifts and skill sets. The guys who are operating on their natural gifts and skill sets don't level up. Deontay Wilder was so in love with his backhand, never worked on anything else. He leveled out, and we watched his career level out. Ryan Garcia, the same exact thing. They say having one special gift in the ring could sometimes is a double-edged sword because you then rely on that and you stop adding skills and attributes. This is not Brian Norman Jr., dude. We watched even against the Derek Cuevas fight. We watched his defense, the version from Janelson to Santillán to Cuevas, way more responsible here. At times, almost a high guard, not quite like a Winky Wright coming in, but you know, and he's then adding these sort of defensive elements to the tools that he already possesses: the power, the aggression, the willingness to be there. He's faster than people think. When people say he's slow, they're talking about his reaction times. Cornflake was saying he was slow, but when's the last time Cornflake sparred him? Did you spar the world champion version? Did you spar the kid who starts Jin Sasaki? Or did you spar the guy who stopped Santillán when he was an underdog? Or the guy who, you know, got cut against Janelson and that fight was a draw when he was 21? All of these things matter. Career trajectories and timing. I can't wait for this fight. Eddie, I think he's going to be. I think Haney's going to be bigger. Hey, we talk about this, guys. Norman is not a big welterweight. He's not. He's kind of an in-betweener. For him, he's perfect for the division. You can tell when whatever he walks around at, whatever he cuts, he has that on point. So, you know, we've never seen Haney at 47. A kid who can't crack at 40 or 35, all of a sudden expecting him to crack at 47. I don't know, man. I don't see it. You Haney fans are gonna have some awesome sound bites and some awesome receipts if Haney goes in and starches Norman, and you know I'll be here for it. So that's the one good thing about my channel. You guys have all my receipts. Guys, we're 30 minutes in. We got 75 to 95 people in the live chat. Like this video, subscribe, come to our Discord. I'm going to show the Discord real quick. It's a couple bucks a month. We're going to check on. So we started this about 4 months ago. We got, not just boxing. We got the NFL today. So a couple bucks a month. The link is pinned in the comment section. You get my picks. I give you guys, and we've been on a heater, boys. We hit the NFL yesterday. We hit our DGen. Who else is hitting on a 15-leg parlay? I mean, we out here. Don't even get me started on our Discord. We out here eating. We have a community pick section. So we do these parlays every week. Shout out to my moderator. So our moderator, Gil, will put together parlays. He asks the entire Discord group to bet on the parlay, pick your winners. And last week, both of them hit. So our Discord's not only, a community, we actually have betting tools. So based off of, we're doing statistical surveys on who's going to win. And then we're telling you, so if you're in the Discord and you're still learning boxing, you have a tool here, right? We have professional bettors in there. We have pro athletes in there. We got professional coaches in there. These are bet slips where all the boys put their slips. We have an MMA thread, an MMA channel, NBA, NFL. We got the game today at 12. I got to get some action in, by the way. We got and then I'm going to check in on the boxing boys. This is our bread and butter. So 301 Baby says, the shit he let Ryan do to him, and Ryan is a one-trick pony with speed. Haney couldn't make the proper adjustments. I don't see it. Ryan has never been a world champ. Yeah, when you look at Haney's performance against Ryan, your take-home point was he was tough. That's about it. Do you think Josh Wagner beats? No way. I want you guys can find the David Pepot highlights. David Pepot, he surprised me, by the way. David Pepot's the kid who came to Australia and went life and death with Liam Paro. He has a handful of knockouts on his resume. He stopped Wagner. Eubank, it's almost a 50-50 fight. I'm going to bet this fight, FX, but I'm not going heavy on it. My money is on Riyadh. There's a lot of cards, though, guys. We got the Pro Box card. We got the card in Japan. We got the card in the UK. We got Riyadh. If you're in the Discord, I put the fight schedule up. So we got a lot of action. Yeah, Garcia's feet are just atrocious. Flat-footed. His skill set, it's weird, the marketing machine behind him, and how this kid, yeah. I've never been high on Garcia, though. Dark Gift, I was late. Who does Johnny have between Brian Norman Jr.? My money's on Norman Jr. I like the Pro Box fight with Roman Villa. Yeah, he's fighting Veron. I'm not getting. Are you JP? Are you getting odds? What book are you getting odds with Roman Villa? Because we're not getting it on Sportsbet. Right now, I'll show you Sportsbet. We're only getting. So these are our fights. But we do have that pro. We got Harlem, Eubank, Wagner. We're gonna start putting our long parlay together, boys, in 2 days. So in the Discord, you get my long parlay, you get my dog of the week, you get my money line, you get my method of victory parlay. We'll give you some UFC tips. And then, like I said, we hit on our NFL tips yesterday, too. So get in the Discord, couple bucks a month. The link is pinned. John Fernandez fighting Casamonica. That's a good fight. This Casamonica fight's a good fight. Off the jump, we'll just add one. These aren't official, but let's just play a game. I like Harlem here. See, I mean, Casamonica 3-1. That's tempting. Abdullah $32. Bam Rodriguez, I'm going to take him to stop Puma. Puma's I enjoy watching Puma, another really tough Argentinian fighter. He's too brave. You're going to come in there and bring an ego into the ring against Bam Rodriguez. Look at the run Bam Rodriguez has been on. Jesus. Bam Rodriguez, starting with the Sunny knockout, is out there just starching people. Bam Rodriguez is that dude. I think he stops Puma. I am, and that's no shade on Puma. I'm a fan of his. I think he's going to be too brave and too proud, and I think he's going to realize that he's in there with a generational talent in Bam Rodriguez. I like Norman here, and I like Benny here. Yeah, so I have a lot of money on. I have a 4-leg removing the. So on my parlay that I already have working, yeah, 1,000 gets your money back plus 2,000 here. These are just money line though. Mason, and I put this bet in my original Riyadh bet probably 2 weeks ago. So those are my 4 money line, but I'm going to do some method of victories. I like Bam to stop Puma, probably Abdullah to stop. Probably Abdullah to stop Sam. I think that, I'm not shading Anthony Yard. I like Anthony Yard. He's tough. We've seen Anthony Yard quit though. He got stopped twice. And when you start getting stuck, and we've seen him run out of gas before. He's generally a quick starter, but he started slow against Lyndon Arthur. I had Lyndon Arthur up 4-1 going into the 6th. He had to come from behind to get that decision win. We saw Lyndon turned it around and looked good against Bradley Ray. So I won money on Anthony Yard against Arthur, and then I won money on Arthur beating Ray. My point is with Arthur and Benavidez, my hesitation with taking Benny by stoppage is the fact that we haven't seen that same power since he went to light heavy. But then again, we've seen Anthony Yard kind of fade late. And so you mix that volume and gas tank and just that sheer dog Benny has. I kind of like the late stoppage, Benny to stop Yard late. We'll see. None of this is official yet. We're just riffing real quick. Man, I like Puma. I think he's gonna make it competitive, JP. I think he is, man. There's a lot to like about his game. There's a lot to like about his skill set. But it's really tough to not have what's his plan B going to be when and he's not the biggest puncher. He doesn't have that Bam Rodriguez pop. And Bam Rodriguez could box, he could punch, defense, his angle. Man, there's a lot to like about Bam. I'm not even glazing him. There's just a lot if you watch as much boxing as I do and as much boxing as the chat does, you guys will agree. You don't see many boxers come around very often with that, with his style, his body punching, the mindset there's something I've always liked about a fighter who's switched on 24/7, 365 and married to the game. These are the fighters that usually have special careers, long careers, special careers. So we'll see. And he says he doesn't want to stay around too long. I like that as well. What is he, 26 already? His brother Josh retired at 29, I think, 28. So Bam, Bam fights like a guy who, with urgency. The way he fights, you could see urgency. I could see him finishing his career undefeated, winning another, becoming another world 118, adding 118 to his arsenal, maybe 122. And then calling it a career. I want to see him in super fights. I want to see him after this fight maybe take on the winner of Junto versus Inoue. I'd love to see Bam versus Inoue. I'd love to see Bam versus Junto. I don't know if those would happen. We'll see. I think Benavidez dog walks Yard side with an 8, 2 different levels. Yard got a lot of mileage. Yard can punch though. Yard can punch, and he's big. Benny's, he's big. I think he stops him too. Check the Norman footage I dropped into the Discord. I think he has a bad habit letting his jab back too far. Reset his rhythm. He hasn't fought anyone with a good jab like Haney. I'll check it out. He said in an interview that he's going to max out 26. That makes sense then. That makes sense. And I've also heard, he's talked about in the past he doesn't want to fight too long. Tyler Randolph, what's up, buddy? Guys, wherever you're tapping in, the Discord, the live stream, like the video, subscribe. 83 of the boys in here. We maxed out at about 100 so far. 40 minutes in. I'm going to be going live again today. I'm going to be uploading in the next 48 hours, guys. You guys are getting my Bam versus Puma upload, Sam Noakes versus Abdullah, Dev versus Brian, Benny versus Yard. There's Japan fights that are off the hook this week. There's that pro box card. Varen's taking on Roman Villa. There's a lot of fights going on. I might be able to get to Harlem Eubank Wagner. I probably won't, but I'll tell you, I like Eubank to win that fight. We'll see what happens. And Dark Gift is saying my exact point. After much consideration, much film study, I've already broken down these fights. It's going to come down for me. Abdullah Mason's twitchiness, power, speed, and what Dark says here, Sam Noak's lack of head movement. Doesn't move his head. Reese Salim is fighting in Japan. Haney's going to run jab and win by points. I don't see this. I don't think he could do that against Norman. And that's 100. If that's what you're going to bet on, have fun betting with that, mate. I guarantee. I can't wait for fight night because all the boys betting on Haney to win on his jab is a freaking stressful proposition. When at any exchange he could get touched. Why you Mukta? Why you keep calling him Della? Northeast Ohio. I call him Della. Mooktube says, why you keep calling him Abdullah? We from Youngstown, Ohio, baby. Della Mason in the house. We still good. Junior, he hasn't fought anyone with a jab. He hasn't fought anyone, period, let alone a jab. Jean Pablo's telling us where he's going with his money. It's a 50-50 decision. I'm not getting odds on Reese Salim. I want to show you something real quick, though. I'll ride with her. I'll slide with her. Flow some dogs from the LBC. All the dogs want to kick it with me. Here we go. That's not what I want to show you, but we up, we up, we up. Okay, I want to show you Catterall, front foot Catterall. Bam. I'm trying to find you this thing I know. So we got the Pro Box card on Friday. We got the UK card on Friday. Let me know if your books are offering these fights. We got the card in Spain with John Fernandez and Casamonica. That's a good card. We got the Casamonica fight. This is the Riyadh card, the one we're going to make a lot of money on. This is the Japan card. So this is an interesting card because if you look at the Subal fight versus Quadras, the boxing heads on my channel, we don't, we keep the casuals away from our boxing knowledge. We don't just watch mainstream American fights here. I'm streaming from Australia. I grew up in Northeast Ohio. So I grew up in Youngstown, boxing since I was 7. So we got a very international fan base, a subscriber list here. The boys will know about this Subal versus Quadras fight. Quadras got over 40, 45 pro fights. Subal is 2-0. So I don't have odds on this fight. My book isn't letting me bet on this fight yet. But when that book does drop, and then you got obviously tension on this card. You got Reese Salim. We saw Reese Salim in Australia. I was at the card when he fought Sam Goodman. Reese got some class to him, man. Don't sleep on Reese Salim. So I'm interested to see in these odds when they do drop. But my point is with Quadras, man, when you got to go, we've seen this time and time again. Is Subal going to be the favorite here? Because if he's the favorite, we're going heavy on Quadras. I'm just waiting for the odds. Let me know if your book is letting you eat yet. Fight week. I told you guys Wardley got elevated. Usyk relinquished his belt. He didn't get stripped. Usyk he did the right thing. We need more champions to do this. We need more champions who want to step away from the sport for whatever reason and not hold up the division and relinquish their belt and allow the other boys, allow the division to evolve and move on. This is what happened. Fabio Wardley elevated, and I talked about this when it happened. Justice is fighting, I think, this weekend or the following weekend, Justice Huni. But how that fight panned out will haunt Justice Huni forever. Forever. Shout out to the Sandlot. So this is the news. You go to the WBO to read the statement. Okay, this is what I want to play.
Like, how big was on Machinko? He's really a natural 130. Why is he elite? Who has he fought that make him such an elite fighter? What stamped him in the game as this guy? We're gonna go with Lomachenko. Okay. A lot of people say you lost that fight. How big was Lomachenko? He's really a natural 130 pounder. He's actually kind of old at the time. I believe he was old as well. Oh, he fought. They're trying to paint him as a power puncher when he's really just a combination speed fighter. He got hurt in that fight. So who has he fought him in the game as his such elite level program?
I'm just listing names, by the way.
I only play that. Norman makes me laugh. Norman's a throwback, man. Psychologically, he's a throwback. Him being I've always said he's undersized for welterweight. He's not the biggest dude. His left, you mix his mindset, his psychology, where he's from. I mean, he's a throwback fighter. I think Haney has his hands full. So History Vault says Suboy is the favorite, minus 450. Wow. For real? Suboy's minus 450. Let me show you something. Y'all said Quadras was 137 years old. Quadras, Quadras is 37. You're like, Carlos Quadras 138 years old. So he has 50 pro fights. Since that loss to Bam, he's fought. Man, my man is active, dude. So this is the dude. This is the kid. He's 2-0. I don't know, man. I don't know. Dude. All right, guys. I'm going to have to say it once again. I'm going to have to say it once again. Quadras has 50 pro fights. Suboy has 2 pro fights. We've seen these matchmaking efforts in the last 6 months. We've seen the bettors and the bookies try to bait us multiple times. Frankie Rodriguez versus Galal Yafai. Frankie Rod, 35 plus fights. Galal, 10 fights. Frankie Rod dusted him. He popped dirty for that boy, but he did dust him. Albert Badargaziev versus Jazza Dickens. Jazza, 30 plus pro fight. Badargaziev, 9 pro fights. Badargaziev, huge favorite. Jazza dusted him. Umiha Sofian, the French Olympian, 8 or 9 pro fights, got smoked. Big favorite. My point is, if you're getting odds on Quadras as that big of a dog, I mean, I'd be sprinkling. Dude, guys, this is we've seen this happen, man. Just this year, the bookies are trying. I don't know, man. What's your take on that? I want to know if you guys, if I get an opportunity to take Carlos Quadras over Suboy, I'm taking Quadras. No, Mooktube, they're saying Quadras is a minus or a plus 450. He's not only in plus, he's plus 450. Yeah. So Elago says that Quadras is plus 330 in the US. Guys, why not sprinkle something on him? Boys, I want to let everybody know, JP, Supreme, Eddie, History Vault, Mooktube University, Waka, Elagos, you guys are still on the live. I got to run. I literally have to run. I have a 10K. So if you guys are new to my channel, I'm an old head. I'm 43, but I run 100 kilometers a month since October 2020. I'm a powerlifting coach. I'm a boxing coach. So training is my mental health supplement. I don't take any other supplements except training. And so I'm gonna go hit the road. I'm gonna do my road work real quick. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna upload my Bam versus Puma breakdown. Stats don't lie. I do live streams every day. If you're new to the channel, go to my fight prediction playlist. You'll see all my receipts. These are the professionally filmed and edited videos of me breaking down, analyzing, and giving my prediction. I'll be going live again today in a few hours. And join the Discord, guys. You get all the picks, you get all the bets, you join our community. We're approaching 300 Johnny Says Boxing Insiders. I appreciate everybody in here. Just because we don't agree doesn't mean I'm talking shit. And just because you don't agree with me doesn't mean I look. If anything, us disagreeing, I like it. So I appreciate everyone. Let's get after this.